Okay, hey everybody, this is Grace, and I am at the place where I went to do some blood work. I'm leaving, and I had blood work from 2 doctors, and one of them was, I'm called the bad doctor. The other one was a good doctor. And the bad doctor, I had to tell him, remind him to do the test. And the good doctor, he talked me into doing this test. They love test. And this one I had to take a pill. I'm not going to go into details, but I had to take a pill day before and all this stuff. And I have to say, I want to know what I want to be prescribed that medication. The pill I had to take, oh my goodness, it helped me with so much, unbelievable, including a headache, even headache to swelling to, oh man, so many things, even insomnia. Just had to take one pill, and I mean, it could be just a placebo effect, which I shouldn't say, I don't know, or just have nothing to do with all of it. All of a sudden, everything that just went right after I took it. But it has nothing to do with it. No, really, I do wonder about this. It did so many changes happen. Wow. I mean, I am amazed. And those weren't the only ones. It was several things. Wow. Anyway, and that could be the problem with my health, that rare health condition. So, and other things, even including shortness of breath. And where I am right now taking the test, I had to go way, just going in, and then I checked in, and then they told me where to go. I went there, way to the far end of it, to the other corner, and all this stuff. It's a big building. It's a very big building. And then got there, and they said, I sat down, and they said, oh, you got to go way over here. Then I had to leave, and it was so fast and everything, and so much walking. I was a little short of breath, but not as bad, nothing. I don't think I would have made it if it weren't for that test. I mean, that pill. Seriously. Because it's a lot of, I mean, I think anybody would be a little short of breath. But that big, you know, anybody like me. I can remember when I was I can remember since I was in my 30s or 40, late 30s, early 40s, having trouble walking that far, or something like that kind of distance. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to get out on the road here. Okay, already had to say, what the? I was coming out of that place, and there's, you know, you go to turn. They have a section over on one side and a section on the other, you know, to turn. Well, you can only go, it's 3 lanes in front of you when you're at that part, coming out of that you know, that center, I guess. I don't know what you're going to call it. The whole area is a lot of places. And you can only turn right. You can't go across, nothing. You got to turn right. So this bozo, and his wife, I guess, they decide they're going to try to squeeze in on the left of me. Dude, it's not 2 turning lanes. It's not just space for 2 people to turn. 1 person can turn. No, it makes new rules. Okay, how many of you remember, are old enough to recall, to have experienced it, playing slug bug when you were kids, you know, with your siblings, when you're driving, you know, when you're going on a long trip or something, or with your family or your friends or whatever. And it was basically anytime you saw one of those, what are they called? I can't even remember that part now. What are they called? Volkswagen bugs? Remember? Yeah, a friend of mine when I was in high school, she had one. And I mean, I'm a tall, not big, but tall woman. And my dad was 6'7". I didn't say 5'7". I said 6'7". Built like a linebacker. I got it. Honestly, all of us, me and my other sisters, me and my sisters, and of course our brother. Yeah. Trying to get me in one of those bugs. I managed. Okay, but wow. Anyway, playing slug bug. You go down the road and when you saw one, they were popular enough to see them. You slug the other person, not hard, but in a joking kind of manner. Well, these days, Adam has he's older than I. He has this game. Well, I guess I should say we. It kind of just started up, and it's that we don't slug one another, nothing like that. But these days, it's the person who sees it first, or he likes it. He likes to see, like when people. He doesn't like to see this, but when people are going up to a light. And to stop at the light, like somebody is in front of them, or maybe not even anybody in front of them, but they'll leave like 2 to 3, I'd say SUV lengths between them and the person in front of them, which especially in a turning lane, can cause a whole lot of problems. But the reason is because they're on their phone, texting or flipping through it, sliding through it, or whatever. And so therefore they stopped way far back and they don't move up. And that can cause, by the way, I'm not that close, I'm zoomed in, but they wreak havoc, really, on driving. You have somebody that has 2 to 3 SUV lengths between them at a light, especially like it's a turn light. And then they don't snap to the fact that they have to go right away. But anyway, Adam has made a game out of it for us. He hasn't called it a game. He just keeps doing it. He said, "Oh look, they're texting. Look, they're on the phone." But how times have changed, right? That was my whole point to that. Okay, I was gonna go get something to eat, but they have it all blocked off. Going to Sonic, but they had the turning lane blocked off and the road is on blocked off. And there's a detour, which seemed probably, knowing the area, it wasn't going to be easy. It was going to be quite a distance to go. So, wow. But so I'm just going to go home. I had to call Adam first to see if he wanted anything. He didn't want anything. So, oh well. But anyway, what was I talking about with all this traffic and everything? It's rush hour traffic. But yeah, so I got the test run, and then now I was going to talk about the physical therapy and the problem I had before. I don't know how to say it. Somebody money motivated. The physical therapist I had before, that she would call me after I told her I'm canceling. She still kept calling me. She was talking always about how much money, how it's important for her. But I had told her I'm canceling it until, I'd call them whenever, or I'd call and reschedule physical therapy, which I did, and they gave me somebody else. All that. But, her continued to call me. I blocked. I can't remember exactly because so much was going on back then. The reason I had to, stop was because of heart failure. They said this is a warning. What my body was doing, it was a warning. So, so I quit that until I could find out what I need to do. What can I do? Still don't know. That was in March, and this is August. So I did find out from the bad doctor. He just said, "What does that have to do with me?" Look, jerk. Oh my gosh. But anyway, so hopefully a physical therapist has a clue. It's not money mode, the new one. So when I reschedule, rescheduled. When I started it up again and scheduled it, they said it was going to be this other one. I mean, I don't think that they, it's the luck of the draw kind of thing. Anytime that's what I think it is. You just get who you get. And I remember seeing some article online or something that said it was, I don't know if they were joking or what, but they said physical therapy is the new exercise program or something. Exercise, whatever, these days. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's because of that rare health condition, and it's important for me to keep physical therapy. Because, all this time that I was, between then, I could have done it from home, but I wasn't very motivated. So having an appointment to go to is much different. But anyway, the phone thing, I don't know. I mentioned this in a video before this, so I don't know if I'm repeating myself in this one. Did I mention it already? But, because I checked to see if I may have blocked her. And there's a number I blocked that's in their system. But I called it and it was, it just hung up, but it said where it is, which is not this town. This is, this is a place, a suburb north of Dallas, northeast, and that one's more northeast. And the other one is more like northwest, maybe. It's not even a suburb, I don't think. It's out there. Maybe they'll try to say they're a suburb. But yeah, it's kind of a new area. Anyway, so hopefully I can get all this going. I got an appointment with them and this week, so hopefully, she didn't try to call me, because they told me somebody was going to try to call me. Well, that number that I called, it said where it was, and then all of a sudden, click, it hung up. And it was one of those, or maybe I looked up the phone number. Yeah, no, the phone number on my phone. When I put the number in, it said that town. Okay. So, but when I called it, I think it just hung up. Okay, for some reason they're doing this at our park here, and they put a divider, it seems like, between the park and the school. It was never there, but I don't know if they're going to put a total block or just temporary like this till they do whatever they're going to do in there. I think they're tearing down finally all these trees, because that's not safe. It was never safe. That's a park, a bunch of kids, and a bunch of trees. I mean, and woods. Anyway, where wasn't all this? But yeah, hopefully, I mean, this is kind of scattered all over the place, but as usual, for me, it is. I don't care. This is just what I do, is vlogging and pressure release valve venting, whatever it is, whatever I do. And a lot of it's just kind of stream of consciousness. Have you ever heard yourself doing that? Anyway, so we'll see. Hopefully the physical therapy can start this week. Maybe, hopefully. I'm hoping for a cool down. This is Texas. We had a very, very mild start of our summer. See, our summer really doesn't start like everybody else's does. We have a lot of summer. And, I mean, it does start early for us. Our temperatures get up into the 90s and 100s, and sometimes as early as in May. And this year, in May, June was very mild. July was very, very mild for us. Mild for us. And we've been having temps, low 90s. Really does that part, in August, really doesn't matter, because like the other day, it was 88 degrees and the feels like was 99. Okay, and that was early on. Yeah, think about it, 88 degrees outside and it feels like 99. Yeah, and so we have cool downs, supposedly. Temperatures are going to be in the 90s, mid 90 to lower And later on this week, yeah, but it feels like it's going to be 100 and something. Pretty much, I can pretty much guess. So why is that a cool down? If the temperature is lower, but the feels like it's still as high. I think yesterday it got up to 100, what I saw. Of course, I'm not just sitting there watching it all day long, not at all. I think yesterday was 107 or 106, somewhere around there. It was 100 and something. Today the temperature, I think, is going to be 101. But you would think, okay, that means that it feels like it's going to be in the 110s. Not necessarily. So it can be 104. You see? So what difference does it make? The feels like, to me, is what's important, but I could be totally wrong. Anyway, I'm wrapping this up. I'll talk to you on another video. Bye.